What is up, YouTube? I am here, finally back after a couple weeks of a hiatus. We've been waiting for a movie review, and here's the next one. The next one is Jurassic World Dominion or Rebirth. Sorry, that's the last one. Dominion is the last one. This one is a sequel to the Dominion, is what it is to, is the sequel. This one follows a group of mercenaries going to the island to collect samples for a pharmaceutical company to make better stuff for them. Of course, the typical have to go find it. Cast is actually pretty good. I will say it's well stacked, nothing too crazy, nothing too insane. Um, Other than that, the story is just basic. Nothing too insane. It had potential for something that could have been greater. Um, there's a 50-50 here. It's not going to be the greatest. It's not the best out of the Jurassic Park franchise or any of the Jurassic Park movies. It's better than Dominion, I will say. It has a lot of bad in it. It's 50-50, like I said. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. But you can tell they played it really safe. And that is sad because you're not meant to play it safe with dinosaur type movies. So let's get into it. The first cast member I want to talk about is Scarlett Johansson's character, who is Zora Bennett. Weird name for a character. I've never heard of somebody named Zora, as a female character, no less. But, I take it. They did call her Z a couple times, the ones that knew her. We'll get into them later. Her character was pretty good. You know, I kind of wish they kind of delved back into the character that she was meant to be, because she kind of put on a weird dynamic of she felt bad that she got her partner killed in the past, and they kind of delved on it in the beginning, but after that, it just kind of felt like she was just pushing to survive, and she was worried about others, but not in the sense that made it seem like she had lost a comrade. So that kind of threw it off for me in a sense. She was still a good character. Didn't pull the whole she's better than anybody. She just did what she needed to do to get it done. And I give credit where credit is due. It is a character that is just there. She did her best. She did everything she could, and she held her own. I will say that. Kind of wish she did a little bit more with the story. The next one is Duncan Kincaid, my favorite actually. I love Duncan. This character was very well dived into. Um, very well uh, attached to Z, so him caring about her was something that made sense. Their dynamic together meshed well, very well. Um, he was a character that I did not want to see die. I was expecting it because he was close to Z. Um, he does make it. I'm actually glad because he was a very good character. Like, not too many people I care about in Jurassic Park movies, but this one I felt really attached to. I don't know what it was about Duncan Kincaid that made me like him, but he was someone that I actually really, really fully did not want to see, get eaten by a raptor or a T-Rex or anything. But he held his own against a lot, and I give him credit where credit is due. The next one is Dr. Henry Loomis. Very good doctor, in my opinion. He held his own too. For doing what he did. He did what he could, and the guy who plays him is just down outright funny. He had very good funny moments. Very well educated on stuff. He did amazing. I actually like those three characters were like my favorite out of everyone in this entire list. Like I said, the casting was good. It was just very different. Well, once we get to the other characters, you'll understand why. The antagonist slash protagonist of this movie, Martin Krebs, who was played by Rupert Friend. Um, he was a good antagonist. He actually had me fulfilled of like, oh, this guy actually means good in a way. But it kind of turns out towards the middle of the movie, he kind of turns into kind of a like uh, kind of a bad guy in a sense. He's trying to just get this stuff to his company, which makes sense, in that sense. You're trying to, appease your company. So he did very well for me as a antagonist slash protagonist in a way. Did very well. Now we are into the least amount of people that I'd like. So this is the family. He had Ruben Delgado and his daughter Teresa Delgado with her boyfriend Xavier Dobbs and his youngest daughter Isabella. This is where we get into the negatives. I did not care for the family. Kind of wish they didn't have a family in this one. I kind of wish it was all mercenary based. Um, because it just didn't do nothing for me. The family was it makes me mad because this family got out of situations that should not have happened, in my take. Um, they survived a T-Rex in on a raft in water. Like you're gonna sit here and tell me that the greatest hunter in the world back in the prehistoric time couldn't hunt a family of 5? Not to get me wrong, the T-Rex could have been tired, could have been, it did eat something big, so he was just like maybe appeased by it, like, oh, this is something I've never seen before. Because they did go to an island that these dinosaurs have never seen humans. They don't even know what the heck they are. So they're very animalistic. They weren't trained to be what they were. In my take of it, is what I seen from it is that these were more animalistic characters. So I kind of sense why they had it that way, but in my take, I kind of didn't like it because it's like, why? Why are we having this family that is doing nothing for the plot? So the whole family, they had their funny moments. Xavier, the boyfriend, was pretty funny. Um, Again, it's just they didn't do nothing for me doing this whole movie. It just was like something of, you know, they're here, cool. I just don't see why they were there. This is where the negative parts come out because it takes away from the movie. Because in all reality, we're trying to figure out how these guys get the samples from the 3 biggest dinosaurs they need. I don't remember the names. Do not ask me. Let's just say one's a long neck one is a one that goes in the water, which was the Mosasaurus. That's the only one I could tell you. And the other one was a flying one. I don't know the name. I'm so sorry if that is bad. But the dinosaurs were cool. I like the designs of all of them. The Mosasaurus, the Spinosaurus, the T-Rex, the D-Rex, um, the Raptors, the Raptor hybrids, I want to say they were. Um, all good designs, all great, interesting looking designs for dinosaurs. I love them. It's just, from my perspective, there's only a certain amount of kills. So I kind of hate this one because they really didn't do much to make the dinosaurs feel too scary. Again, that's where the family comes in of, well, we survived this. What's to say they don't survive anything else? Which takes away from the suspense, the thrill, the action of it, the hey, they shouldn't be able to survive this. So the take on the story is that they go to the island, the family gets caught in between the Mosasaurus, the mercenaries find them, take them on the boat. They were gonna take them to the island and then just disperse of them and they go their separate ways. Well, the Mosasaurus and the Spinosaurus just end up attacking the boat, which killed like 2 people right off the bat. They were both mercenaries that didn't get enough screen time. But in their but the way the family separated for them, it kind of didn't make sense. They got thrown into the water, which the Spinosaurus is already proved they just come from land into the water. So why didn't they pick them off? Strike number 1. Strike number 2, you already killed 2 mercenaries, and there's only what now? You got Zora, Duncan, Dr. Loomis, and the main antagonist, and you had one more guy who's the French guy who was really funny too. He was a good actor too. Um, so you already have 5 left, and you have the father, the 2 daughters, and the boyfriend. That's 9 people. I feel like that's too much of people surviving a land full of prehistoric creatures that should act on their instincts of hunger. Um, the French guy dies halfway through the movie. So 8. This doesn't sit well with me that this family survived a full day out there and a night, and then another, I want to say another full day of dinosaurs. It just doesn't sit well with me. When in the older ones, those people barely survived a T Rex running after them and raptors then chasing them. I just feel like a lot of humans get a lot of plot armor. And this movie was conflicted with a lot of stuff, which it shouldn't have been, but it was. It's still a good movie. It's still like, if you don't think about it, just turn off your brain, watch dinosaurs, scream and eat people, and you just go about your merry way. But from a moviegoer's, like a person that goes in there and thinks about everything, the plot, the characters, it's hard to sit there and think, well, that character should have just been eaten by a dinosaur, or the dinosaur should have acted on its own. But they're not. That's my problem with this movie. They're not giving me the suspense of what Jurassic Park did. Like when that one experienced guy went into the woods to hunt the raptors, and the raptors set up a trap for them. Like, these creatures should be smart enough to do it. Like, they kind of talked about that in like the middle of the movie, that Dr. Loomis is like, being smart is not a characteristic anymore. And he was talking to the head, because the head guy is like, well, we're smarter than dinosaurs. We should be able to outlive them. And he goes, they live for millions of years. We're barely on a couple thousand. And he talks about like being smart in such a genuine way, but it's never shown again for the dinosaurs. Now, the D-Rex is a hybrid. It's a mutated hybrid. It's a T-Rex mixed with something else, but like you don't get to see it much because I don't know what the movie directors were thinking of just not like showing it. Um, I guess it does stay secluded in one area because I guess that's what it knows, and there's a lot of characteristic to the animals, which I do like. Um, the D-Rex shows a lot of pain when it walks. Like there is a scene where it's walking and you can see when it moves on its like big legs in the front, it looks like it's hurting. And that shows that this is not just the one from Jurassic World, the first one. This dinosaur just kind of looked like a slopped mess made, and it kind of just doesn't know what it is. It acts on instinct like the T-Rex does. It doesn't show very smart type of characteristics. It shows a lot of like kiddish activities. Like it's attracted to light, it's attracted to the sounds, it sees things and it looks at it very weird. Like it just shows confusion a lot. And you know, it was kind of cool seeing it that way. It wasn't like being different. It wasn't being weird. It was just doing its own thing, which I appreciate it doing. Giving us a different perspective of you know giving us, hey, this dinosaur is different. It's not the one like the Indominus Rex or the Indoraptor and all the other ones that were smart with brains. This one was kind of just like a kid. And, it was an abnormal creature. But the problem I have with this one is that the D-Rex was teased a lot for trailers. That this thing is different. It's giving us like scary vibes. Even the beginning, it showed like a very scary, like it was a thriller. Like it was meant to be like you were about to see some sick stuff. Not really. No, the movie doesn't even do that. Like, yeah, it had a couple moments where you're like, "Ooh, are they gonna get out of this?" Or, "Oh man, they're really." It was a few very short-lived moments, but then again, the family just kills those vibes because they're getting out of situations that they should not have gotten out of. Well, they're just outsmarting these creatures when people are literally saying that being smart isn't a characteristic. That's a problem. You know, Y- if you're going to say that these creatures have intelligence, give the ones that desire the intelligent trait, give them that intelligence. Don't make me assume right away that, that you're just going to brush that off. You shouldn't be brushing it off. You should actually be giving me a actual intelligent creature. Now, overall, the movie's, I want to say like a good 7 out of 10 for me. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's good. It's decent. Overall, the movie was a-okay. It was on my lists for a decent movie, which um, I will say this, a lot of my movie reviews have been off and on this year. I've had some good ones, I've had some bad ones, but like the best one still this year for me. If you guys are looking to watch any movies, I will recommend Sinners because that was the beginning of the year during March. It did a lot. It did give me a decent amount of, thriller and, suspense. Michael B. Jordan killed it. How to Train Your Dragon was a good live action remake that they gave us, and it is something that most people should see because if your kids loved How to Train Your Dragon, it is a very good movie, very close to the original. This one is a decent movie. It's not the best. Again, it's a okay. It's something that you could just turn your brain off and just enjoy. Um, and my next movie review will be on Fantastic Four. It will come out the week I go see it, so it will be closer than Jurassic Park or Jurassic World because I had to wait to see this one again to make sure my uh, feelings weren't diminished from it. So, Fantastic Four is the next one to look out for. I will have a full, hopefully, pray right now because Marvel's been hit or miss. I hope it's good. I've been seeing a lot of good reactions from it. A lot of the cast I love, regardless. So it'll be good to see them and you know play out these characters that I love. So overall, if you want to see this movie, I'd say go and watch it with open eyes. Don't just embrace it for what it is. It's stupid, it's funny, it has its way, it has its charm, but overall, um, it is decent. I will give it a good, again, solid 7 out of 10. But thank you for listening. Hopefully, this review helps, and I will be back in the next one. I will have a gaming um, portion of my channel up very, very soon. So please stay tuned for that, and you guys have a good one. Peace.